All right, welcome everyone. Three guys, one music. Hello, guys. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
I'm Jamie. I'm here with Mike and Grant, as always. We're going to be talking a little bit today about music from the last 20 or so years that means a lot to us. And I'm particularly guilty of this. I listen to a lot of music that influenced me early on and still get a lot of joy from it. And I listen to it for different reasons, but a lot of it is just as a musician. It satisfies something for me that maybe your average person would say, I've heard that too many times. I don't want to hear it again. And I understand that. But we decided to come up with some songs from the more recent songs that are as important to us as music that initially influences. And that stuff is always going to rate real high with us. And I would say these songs are incredibly important to me, the list that I have, and I'm assuming for you guys as well. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. So first, we're going to talk about what we've been listening to. So anybody want to go first with that?
Why do you always look at me? I'll go first. I'm your Huckleberry. I've been listening to the same stuff, man. I think a few weeks ago, I said I started listening to Zombie, and I've listened to Zombie a lot in the last 2 weeks. I don't love everything they do, but there's some really standout moments in their many albums. Definitely worth a listen. Zombie. One guy plays bass guitar and keyboards, the other's the drummer. It's all instrumental, but very unique kind of. They're modeled their songs after Goblin, who did soundtracks for Italian horror movies in the 70s, and it very much fits in with that kind of feel, that vibe. So it's a lot of fun to listen to. Also listen to Brutus again from Belgium. A trio. The drummer's a singer, and she's got a very distinctive voice, even though she kind of, close your eyes, it kind of sounds like Bjork after smoking a pack of cigarettes, but it's not in a bad way. It's really good stuff. One thing I did listen to a lot the other day, something reminded me of the Tragically Hip, and I started listening to their catalog, and just there's not a misstep in any of the songs. All of it's great. A lot of good songs there. Of course, Gord Downey died in 2011, I think, of cancer. Just an outstanding group. Wonderful music.
So he actually died from a glioblastoma, just like Neil Peart did, I believe.
Is that right? Yeah,
I think.
Amazing. It's kind of bittersweet to know that he was able to go on tour, and get back that last moment to his fans, being in that situation.
Right.
But Tragically Hip. If you're not familiar with them, go out and listen to them. Great Canadian band.
Did Zombie end up being the soundtrack to your Myrtle Beach trip like you thought it might be? Didn't you discuss that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't listen to a lot of music on vacation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I did listen to Zombie quite a bit.
Other fun activities.
So.
How about you, Grant?
Mostly it was a very proggy week. Prog metal, Dream Theater, Porcupine Tree, Queensryche, splash of L1011 in there, which aren't really, I guess they're sort of proggy.
Yeah, kind of.
But I wouldn't say they're really
It's a broad net.
Yeah. Stuff of that ilk, I guess. Nothing specific, just thinking, I haven't heard this in a while. Let me put this on. And then, you go down the rabbit hole of, that reminds me of this, or that reminds me of that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say real quickly, I'm going to name a dog Brutus from Belgium, the next dog I get. I think that would be an amazing name. That'll be his full name, Brutus from Belgium. Yeah. That's
Brutus,
perfect.
Belgium.
Yeah. Kim comes up with the names for our animals because I told her the cat's name was going to be Mr. Dabalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina. that whole thing. That's so every time you call him, you need to say Mr.
Boblina.
Yeah, Mr. Dabalina, Mr. Bob Dabalina.
I like it.
From a Monkeys tune, and also
And Osmond's too.
what's that rapper's name? I don't know. Look it up, kids. It's on YouTube.
I have been listening to a lot of Sinatra recently. I have these playlists that I put together, which is various songs that I just like. And sometimes, you know, it just hits you in a certain way, and you're like, that was great. I haven't heard that in a while, and it just sends you on this little trip that you're like, oh, I got to listen to more of this.
Little
So I've been
journey.
listening to a lot of the "Where Were You" record from 1957. That I
Where
think,
were you in
arguably,
1957?
what's that?
Where were you in
Oh,
1957?
I wasn't even thought of, not even yet. Um, I would argue that that record is one of the best recorded records. I in that realm, it's the best sounding record from the 50s I've ever heard that I know of. Sonically, it's just
Well,
amazing how well recorded it was.
and a lot of that was done with the band in one room and the
Yeah,
singer in the
this was
vocal
done
booth.
at Capitol Records in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
and it's just amazing how they go in and cut an album in 8 or 9 hours, and now it
Well,
takes a year and a half to make an album.
I've argued that, or I've said that, in my opinion, I don't know that if he was known to have perfect pitch, I'm not sure about it, but I believe Frank Sinatra had perfect pitch. His intonation was perfect, and his phrasing was amazing. And I remember when we were younger that I heard a lot of people talk about Sinatra, and I'm like, who cares? You know, but I don't know how many years ago I bought a used best of, and I finally understood why he was considered so great.
Yeah.
But I think I enjoyed the melancholy stuff that he did. The New York, and that's my life. My life. I don't
Yeah, My
really.
Way.
That's my way. Yeah, that's not really my thing. But that's life. Isn't that one of those songs?
Yeah.
It's just not my thing.
That's what the people say.
Yeah, I really enjoy the stuff that is sadder that he did, but it's those arrangements that Nelson Riddle and
Oh, those were fantastic.
man, it's just amazing. But really, the sonic uh, character of the recordings of my favorite recordings from the 50s and the 60s, just they're fantastic. And I've
Yeah.
been listening to First Aid Kit, a Swedish duo, two sisters,
Yeah.
and I just really, really enjoy. Um, they're very country esque. They love country music.
That would be classified as Americana, I think.
I think it's Americana, but they've been to the Grand Ole Opry and they've sang with Emmylou Harris. They personally love country music a lot, and I
Yeah.
think you can tell it just by the tinge of the voice, the way they have a little bit of twang. To be Swedish, you can tell how they tune their ears. But yeah, I'm a big fan, and I have to admit that I had never heard of First Aid Kit until several years ago, and I learned of them through the guitar player for Greta Van Fleet. I
Oh,
thought,
yeah.
First Aid Kit, what is that? And then I checked it out. I thought, ooh, this is good. So I've really been enjoying them. I've listened. They're always on a playlist of several of their tracks. So really, really been enjoying that. But a lot of the stuff I've been listening to recently is either really guitar driven and classic stuff that satisfies a certain thing in me, or it's really sadder music that's more really light. It's kind of really both worlds, nothing in the middle. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been listening to lately, but really enjoying the Sinatra and First Aid Kit lately.
Yeah.
But
I'm singing "Strangers in the Night" in my head right now. So you got me there. And First Aid Kid does a really good rendition of Kate Bush's "Running Up That Hill."
Yeah.
If you,
I don't
if
think
you
I've
pull
heard
that.
that.
Yeah, check that out. That's really good.
They do a really good copy of or cover of America by Simon and Garfunkel. I
Mhm.
like him. But yeah, I'm a big fan of theirs. Um, so okay, I guess we'll get into the topic. Um, does anyone want to go first on?
Look at
By
you,
the
decide.
way,
I'll go
by the
first.
way, do you want to do a round of 5? And just like we did recently, we'll each do a round of 5.
We can try that. Sure.
Yeah,
Gotta say
should have
5.
discussed this earlier. Sorry.
I wasn't prepared for 5 at once.
Well, do you want to do one by one?
Um,
I don't know. That might get I might
think
get
that's gonna
vertigo going
that's
around.
gonna be. I think 5 each might be the way to do it.
Yeah.
okay, we can do it. I can deal.
Take a little time.
All righty. I'm gonna go with our lovely Lana Del Rey from the album Born to Die, Summertime Sadness, which was my introduction to her. I heard a remix on the radio one night driving home, and I was like, what in the world is this? Because it was kind of EDM,
Mhm.
but yet the lyrics and the vocal and the production were so lush. I was just like, okay, how does this go together? But it works. And then I got home and, beep, beep, boop, what is this? And then heard the actual version, not a remix or a collab. And
I just have a comment before you go on to your next pick about Lana Del Rey. So,
oh, that's fine. Go ahead. I haven't
well,
finished it.
I have 2 things. First time I ever heard her, I think she was a musical guest on Saturday Night Live, and I thought, "What is this?" I didn't get it at all. It was just really weird. I thought it was almost comical, but
Mm.
I understood her later. But that was a really bizarre performance. And the other thing I always think of when I think of her is that she was going out with Axl Rose when I lived in LA, and they were at the Chateau Marmont one night. And my roommate was trying to be a paparazzi photographer. And he said, "Let's go to the chateau and take pictures of them." And I was like, "I don't want to do that." But
Let them live
we
their life.
yeah, we knew they were there, or he
Wow.
knew they were there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I always think of when I think of her,
I
my
think a
LA
lot of
experience.
I think a lot of SNL, a lot of people try to be. It's almost like a shock value performance, so it gets talked about and it gets written about because there's no bad press. I mean, now
Mhm.
there is, of course, but there didn't used to be anything. As long as your name was
Yeah.
out there, who's this? I need to check this out. It was
Yeah.
good press. But yeah, I think a lot of performances I've seen on SNL are like, okay, that was a bit out there for them.
Well, the first performance, if I see a bad performance on SNL, I think, okay, any number of technical difficulties could happen when you're
Yeah.
doing this live.
Yeah.
And if their singing is off, I think, or are they hearing themselves in the monitors?
Or are they
So
lip syncing?
I give them, hopefully not. I give them the benefit of the doubt until I see the second performance,
Yeah.
and then I'll pass judgment. That was not a good night for her on SNL.
It was weird.
But
It was
it was,
really not
yeah,
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
but
memory of it. It's been a long time, but I think that was 15 years ago or something, or quite a
oh,
while
really?
ago.
That long?
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
maybe not 15 years ago, but it was not great.
Yeah, 2012 was when the first album came, or her first major album came out, and people started knowing who she was.
Mhm.
I
I
think
don't know
this
if
was before then.
okay, yeah,
I think she was on SNL prior to 2012. I don't know how that would be possible, but I
well,
know
she
that.
did have an album before Born to Die, but it was either an independent release or an independent
Yeah.
record label.
Mhm.
But
Well,
you know,
anyway.
the public
Yeah.
didn't know about her till then. But yeah, it was just so the production, the way the vocals were recorded, everything was just so. It was overwhelmingly lush. That whole album and
Yeah.
those songs were so unique at the time. And I was like, wow, it's like a throwback it's a throwback, but a throw forward as well. I mean, it's modern topics and
Mhm.
modern lyrics about whatever, but yet that sound was a throwback to real studios and real recording and,
Yeah.
that type of feel and just the whole general feel of that album. But that was the first song and plus just the lyrics, you know, everybody's had a summertime sadness before, whether it's a relationship or whatever. If you just want to be literal right there with the lyric. And so, you know, you can think of something summertime, but
Yeah.
I think that's a song that meant more to me than just, oh, this is a good song. You know,
Right.
I can see parts of me in those lyrics or in that song.
That's a big deal right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Well,
can put yourself into a song and that's when you personalize it.
yeah.
That's pretty powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the first pick. And, mine are in no order, so I'm just going to read them the way got them written here so I don't miss one or screw something up. I've got the song next by Jason Isbell, 24 Frames, off of Something More Than Free from 2015. And I've never done any research on what the 24 frames he's referring to. I'm thinking 24 frames in a standard roll of film, because the song lyrics are about all kind of crap that can happen to you in your life and how you maybe can work to overcome it, or you let it overwhelm you. You know, there's different scenarios and different things that he talks about. I'm thinking 24 frames is 24 hours in a day. You know, it's that 24. You got 24 hours to figure stuff out or whatever before the next whatever.
24 frames is a second of
The film.
of movie film.
Yeah. That's what I was getting there, but thank you. And I didn't know how to say it, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Yep. And
God, I wished I could figure things out in 24 hours before I moved on to the next day. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I can't.
sure.
I'm not good at that, but that would be amazing.
Yeah, or dealing with your one problem maybe. But anyway, it's just it's a very meaningful song, and his vocal delivery is amazing. And
he's a fine guitar player and artist, obviously. But
yeah,
he's a fine guitar player.
But that's a song in the right moment. You know, it can get me very emotional. You know,
that's great.
All right, number 3 on my list, by the French artist M83. More of a Jamie, you know, I like Time Cop 1983. It's not quite the same type of.
Too, thanks to you.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But yeah, it's not the same type of music, but it's definitely got that throwback synthwave kind of sound to some of the stuff. But this is a song called Midnight City, and this is from 2011, from the album Hurry Up, We're Dreaming. And it's just a cool song about being in the city at night, and you just feel good, and you're hanging out, and there's possibility. I think to me, that's what what I think of makes me feel that some things that you maybe want to do are still possible, you know, like you can continue to look forward, you know. And it's just a chill song, and it has a vocal effect in there. I don't know if it doesn't sound like someone singing the part, but if you listen to it, you'll recognize it, because after they did it, it was in like a plethora of songs, that kind of sampled voice effect. You know, it's I'm doing it terrible, but it's very high pitched, and when you hear it, you'll recognize it it became a thing, like, oh, this sounds good, let's copy it and put it into, you know, every song we can. But
do you know what year that song came out off the top of your head?
2011.
2011. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I wrote down the dates because there's no way I was going to remember them all.
Okay.
And I don't think I think I started listening to them in maybe 2015, maybe something like that. I had remembered hearing a snippet of this song and thinking I need to find out what this was, and then forgetting that I needed to find out what this was.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that's that I think of that possibility, that feel good feeling you have when everything's cool and you're thinking, wow, you know, there's a possibility to life or whatever, you know. But anyway,
there's one city that I've been to in the last 10 years that makes me think of the way you just described that. There's only one city, and that's Montreal. Montreal is just a super cool city. That's the lights are amazing. It just looks different than any other city that I've been into in the US. It's old, but it's modern at the same time. It's classic. But whenever you describe that, it made me think of Montreal. But it's got a certain quality that no other city that I've personally been to has.
Wow, that's
That
great.
I think that if I could take people to any of my places that I've been for that kind of experience, that would be the city. So
Cool.
anyway, that's the
That's
city
awesome.
that popped into my head when you were describing all that.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Well, I guess I described it well then because
Yeah.
made you think of something. All right, next we have a song from The Church. And I kind of
Who?
cheated here. I didn't realize it was 2002 when this came out. I thought it was 2006. So
Close enough.
I put it on here anyway. It's a song called Night Friends off the album After Everything, Now This. And it's very metaphysical. It's about,
What kind of podcast is this?
yeah, I don't know. It's any it talks about night friends coming through the mirror, night friends. It's just very, it's not his usual style of lyric where he is abstract. This is not abstract, but I mean, metaphysical is the only thing I can think about because he's bringing in all these things having to do with night. And it's like, you know how when you were a kid and you went outside at night and you just looked at the stars and everything was possible. I mean, I hate to do possible again, but everything was plausible. Like, there could be a strange world under our feet, or there could be Atlantis, or there could be this, or there could be that, but and the song goes into more stuff than just that. But I think it's a piano driven song instead of guitar, and it's a slower song and it's a longer song, and it just pulls you in. It's meditative, but very, like I said, metaphysical is the only thing I can think of to describe it, because it's not your typical, this means this in the lyric. It's very open-ended. And he's describing something and you can make up your own description in your head. But
that sounds like the songs you're listening to are all filled with hope.
That's true. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. That's great.
All right, let's go. This one. This is an instrumental by the pianist Chad Lawson, and this is from 2018, his album Regarding Piano. This is called Amongst the Trees I Wait. And he recorded this album on piano, but he used, on acoustic piano, and he used effects pedals and effects stuff like a guitarist would use to get all these different sounds and different feelings, I guess you want to say it. But other than his title, I have no idea what he was thinking, when he wrote it. But it's a very again, meditative, very it makes you think deeply, I guess, or feel deeply, regardless of what you're feeling, and instrumental songs are hard to describe because they're all different for everyone. I could take the title literally, and Amongst the Trees I Wait, you could like see yourself stand at the edge of a field under a canopy of trees, maybe waiting for someone to come meet you, or maybe waiting for night to arrive, or waiting for anything,
I have a different meaning, and I'll tell you in a second.
Okay. But yeah, I'm basically done. It's just hard to describe an instrumental song. But anyway, it's a very cool album because it's not your typical solo piano album where, he's just playing the piano or someone's just playing the piano. It's very different, and with the effects that are done, and there's all kind of stuff going on. He's just not playing the piano like you play the piano.
Yeah.
But
well, I've got a cheeky comment that I thought that I'm going to revise my future name of my dog to Amongst the Trees I Am, Brutus from Belgium. That's going to be his full name.
That'll work. Yeah,
because it's perfect.
Cool. But anyway, that's my first half there.
All right, good stuff.
I like
Some
it.
of that, I'm not familiar with some of that stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
me either.
I was trying to. That was my only dilemma this time, was not picking songs that I always pick.
Mhm.
You know, I want to delve deeper into my personal catalog of songs that
Yeah, that's
that
awesome.
mean something to me. You know,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mike, do you want me to go or do you want to go?
I can go.
Okay.
I don't mind. I ain't scared.
you go ahead.
Picking songs, it's individual songs. It's there's so much more to choose from, than an album, because you may be only familiar
Right.
with one song from a band.
Right.
And I'm sure there's some of those on my list. Hey, right off the bat, Willow Smith, Symptom of Life. We can be accused of being crotchety old man and saying there's nothing good on the radio anymore, but people have been saying that for forever. Since
Since the radio.
when we were
Right.
kids listening to MTV, there were older people saying that's all garbage back in my day. But
Right.
there's music seems so disposable now, and Willow Smith's Symptom of Life really stands out. It doesn't sound like your typical pop song at all, and it's just a beautiful song, beautiful arrangement. And the first time I heard it, I had to find out who it was. I had to listen to it over and over again to wrap my head around what's going on, because it's so different from the time signature and the choice of chord progression. It really is just a beautiful song and stood out to me.
Who wrote it? Do you have any idea?
I don't. I think she was involved in the writing, and I think her
Okay.
producer helped write it.
Okay.
Maybe we discussed that before.
Yeah.
Something I'd have to look into. I don't have the albums or years that these came from. I'm not that studious.
It's not required.
It's not a
It's not
competition,
about
Mike.
that, Michael.
Okay. Robert Randolph blew my mind when I first heard Robert Randolph
Yeah.
on Austin City Limits, and songs like Ain't Nothing Wrong with That, just a bluesy rocker. It's just such a great song with that kind of gospel feel to it. A lot of those songs do have that.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
the overdriven slide guitar,
Yeah, it's
Robert
amazing.
Randolph blows me away. And first time I heard him, like I said, on Austin City Limits, I was hooked. We went to see him in Greensboro when he came by, and tremendous show, great band, great player, and great music. Ain't Nothing Wrong with That is a great example of what turned me on to Robert Randolph. Cults. Don't know enough about the band. I know they've had a couple albums out. They have a more recent album out. I think I need to check it out. But Go Outside by Cults. Just I saw the video first. The video for the song, maybe that's what struck me. It just sent chills, because the video is the band superimposed into footage of Jim Jones at his church and at the compound in Guyana. And the song itself is very ethereal, very haunting, lots of echoey vocals. It's a really good song, very restrained. It's hard for me to describe, but that really, really made me sit up and notice. And Cults is a really talented band with a very specific sound. But Go Outside was the song that caught my attention.
Okay. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, I highly
I have to do
recommend.
some homework after this episode.
Nathaniel Ratliff. That kind of Memphis sound, that Stax record sound.
Yeah.
There are other artists out there that are doing it, but when his album came out, I just really, I'm like, that's it. That's that sound. Songs like SOB, a lot of fun. Just a good old rock and R&B type song. Yeah, all of his music is in that same kind of vein and really good. He's a really talented artist. I'm just going to leave these glasses on. I keep putting them on and taking them off. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ray, They Say Vision. She does not get enough credit. She should have been super famous a long time ago. They Say Vision is an extraordinary song. it starts out with a pulse that just draws you in, and her vocal style and words over it are just it's just a beautiful thing. And if you haven't heard of Ray, RES, go out and listen to her. It's fantastic. I love that whole album is great. I'm losing my voice. But They Say Vision is a great song. Great primer to that.
Okay. I'm going to check that out. I
Yeah.
I have some things to listen to. Well, my first five, I'm going to just start with these songs for different reasons are really, really important. And I just also wanted to say that there are songs that, of course, I couldn't include. There's just not enough uh, time or room for them. But there are a lot of songs that I discovered in the last 20 years that are much, much older that I would have liked to include it, but we wanted to stay kind of true to this. And I do have one exception on my list, but it's for a good reason in my mind. But yeah, whether you've discovered music that's older and it's incredibly important to you in the last 20 years, to me, that's perfectly valid, But like I said, again, my list is pretty recent stuff. But I'm going to go with The Bell by First Aid Kit. Um, I love the arrangement, and that song really, maybe more than any of their others, stayed with me. Um, and it's got a lot of elements to it that draws me in each time I hear it. But, highly recommend The Bell. Um, Number two is Desert Raven by a guy named Jonathan Wilson. Jonathan Wilson is a North Carolina guy from Forest City, North Carolina. And he's been the guitar player and singer for Roger Waters for the last decade or more.
Hmm.
And I saw him with Roger Waters in Philadelphia 7 years ago, I believe. And but he has a record that came out in 2010, maybe 2011. That's fantastic. It's just I listened to this particular song when I was in California a lot, and that's what I associate with it when I hear it. But I really do enjoy it. It's got a wonderful vibe to it, and it's a song that I listen to quite often. So number three, I've got Rufus Wainwright. I don't know what it is. This song has got an amazing arrangement. I love the instrumentation in it. Um, the session musicians that he uses on this are some of my favorite. You can go do your homework. But two of the guitar players are on this. I really, really enjoy.
Yeah.
Rufus Wainwright is a fantastic songwriter and a very
Absolutely.
interesting style. But he's got many songs that I really enjoy. But this song is special to me, and I think it just it's like what you said, Grant. I mean, it's just full of possibilities. It's hope. Um, and that I don't know. It's just a positive song in my mind. And my number four pick is Ghost Town by First Aid Kit. Um, that song just means a lot to me because it's like, we all are scarred by life and we all have things that we wish that we could forget or that affect us in some way. But, there's a lot of ghost towns in our past and we just have to leave it alone. We just have to keep moving forward. And it's so easy to get bogged down in our
Memory.
memories, and just associate something and just not let it go. And I think that song is a hopeful song. It's like, I'll remember you again one day, but I got to let you go right now. That's kind of how I look at that song. You can just let something eat you up and never let you never release yourself, but you have to. I mean, we only are only on this planet for such a finite period of time, and we have to do everything we can to be happy and to be productive and just not let the things that can torture us and get us down as much as we are able to, and that's how I that song is just full of hope for me. And it's a sad
Yeah.
song, but um and number 5 is My Morning Jacket, one of my all-time favorite bands. I discovered only within the last 15 years, and incredibly important band to me. But the song called Feel You. Um it's very emotional. Um it's on one of their records, Waterfall. It's either one or two, I can't recall, but it's a fantastic arrangement. And Jim James, I guess, is one of those singers that is kind of like Geddy Lee or Neil Young. It may not be your cup of tea. He uses a lot of reverb on his
Yeah.
vocals, but I personally love it. It really appeals to me, but I really love his songwriting, and that's a song that I listen to a lot. So that one's really, really important to me, and that's my first 5.
Yeah.
Nice.
My morning jacket is on regular rotation at work. So
Yeah.
I'll run out of something. It turns back to that. It's a
Yeah,
great
they're
band.
they're a very good band. I've always wanted to see them live, and I'm never near them whenever they come. And like I said,
Yeah.
Louisville is only a few hours away from me where I'm currently at, and that's where they're based out of. But they're just never on tour when I'm around, But
Mm,
I would go see them in a second. I'm a big fan.
yeah.
All right,
All righty. Second 5. Let's see, where was I here? Oh, and like, what's happening up here? I'm looking down.
we're improvising.
Scary,
Yeah.
scary.
Jazz hands.
Yeah, that's my next pick. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, made me laugh. All right, this is a single. If it was a single, I really don't know if it's a single, but it was from the short-lived TV show, The Bridge. I'm not going to get into that. Look it up. But
Homework.
it's a song by Ryan Bingham. If you're not familiar with Ryan Bingham, he's amazing. Americana, I guess that would fall into Americana again. It's called Until I'm One With You. And it's a very sparse song. It's not like a traditional, like, this comes in, here's the song, blah, blah, blah. Even the vocals are very sparse, but it's so pulls at you,
Mhm.
that until I'm one with you, it's almost that longing, that almost a desperation,
Mhm.
This is somebody that wants to be with somebody else who's you're not currently with. Is that what I'm getting out of that?
Well, you could read that into it, or it could be, I don't know. I don't think it's that specific. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's just, if you check it out, it's a very, it's sparse. I keep saying sparse, but it's so unlike a song.
Say it one more time. I'm just kidding.
Sparse.
Yeah. I love that
but-
word, sparse.
Yeah, a great word. But, yeah, it's just a song that pulls at you.
Yeah.
I don't see how anybody who really loves music wouldn't like that song or get that song. But anywho,
Great title.
yeah, it's amazing. All right, next pick is everyone's favorite band, U2,
Mhm.
from How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Sometimes you can't make it on your own. And if you know that song, then you know what it's about, and you know what it means, and you know what it says. And that's such a very good description of a deep, meaningful, loving relationship, and that's another song that, if I'm in the right mood, can make me have a little tear. But anyway, it's U2, and even though they're
fan.
they've been around forever, they're still writing some good songs.
I agree.
Um,
Seen them live twice.
yeah, I've only seen him
Um,
once. Yeah.
Saw them in Raleigh on the 360 tour in 2009. That
I
was
s- the-
fantastic. Muse opened up the show. It was
oh,
fantastic. They
Mhm.
were both great. And then I saw them in uh, Phoenix a few years
hmm,
ago with Beck on the 30th anniversary, 40th anniversary for 30th anniversary for
Joshua, not Joshua Tree.
what was the 40th anniversary? Is that no, it's
Yeah,
30th
yeah, it was.
anniversary. 1987 to 2017. Yeah,
Yeah,
30th anniversary. Oh, well. Anyway, that was great.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
they are a fantastic live band, and they have just a host of songs that mean a lot to me as well. So
yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
when they, for lack of a better term, when they hit it, they hit it. You know, when they write
yeah,
a great song, they write
yeah,
a great song. I know there's a lot of people that can take or leave you too. You know, but
Yeah.
um, they do have a catalog of great
oh
songs,
yes,
and that's
totally
one of
agree.
them to me.
Yeah,
Um, let's see here. I'm gonna go. My next choice is I had two here, but I'm gonna go with the heavier one, and it's by a little band out of Iowa called Slipknot.
oh wow,
And this
they
is a
have a
song.
love song.
No, it's not a love song.
It's a metaphysical song.
It's a metaphysical love song.
Metaphysical love song. That's a
Duality.
great song title right there.
Yeah, that is. It's Duality by Slipknot from Volume 3, The Subliminal Verses from 2004. I didn't realize it was that
Wow.
long ago. So I just
Yeah.
made the 20-year mark. But anyway, that's a very heavy song, and duality that's what it's about. It's about the duality of your choices you make. Do I want to be good or bad? Or even
Mhm.
though I feel like this, I feel like that. I could go either way. You know, am I going to be a good person? Am I going to be a bad person? It's just a great song, and I had a couple other heavy songs that mean a lot to me as well, but I thought that one would be better for today, just because I think it kind of fits in with the others, even though it's not a hopeful song, it's not a possible song. It just is. It's our
Yeah.
existence. We're making
Mhm.
those choices every day, and a lot of
Yes.
people are right there on the edge, you know, between that duality, and it's a very uh, deep song couched in very heavy, heavy music.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All righty, the
They're a
next
great
pick.
band.
Oh
They're a
yeah,
great
yeah.
band.
Yeah.
Um, the next pick is by a little band out of Canada that you might have heard of, a little three-piece called Rush.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Triumph.
I knew somebody was
I
going to
was
say
gonna
it's
say that
Triumph,
too.
it's Triumph.
Uh,
Off Clockwork
Fight the
Angels.
good fight, baby.
Yeah, uh, Clockwork Angels from 2012. The last song on the album, and the last song because this was the last song Rush ever put on an album, "The Garden,"
That is a great song.
and that
Very
is
emotional.
yes, super. That one is another one it could be a tearjerker if you're in the right mood.
Yeah.
Um, and that song again, it is hopeful, but it's kind of also facing what the cards are dealt, you know,
Right.
and trying to leave the world a better place than when you came into it or whatever, you know. And I think the garden. I think Neil writing the lyrics, it's the whole planet, you know. I think
Yeah.
it's not just one. It's not one specific thing, you know. It's
Mhm.
life. It's the garden or whatever.
That
But
is my favorite song from that record. And I would say that's probably Alex's most emotional guitar solo.
yeah,
It's
yeah, it's
really
amazing.
melodic and it's a lot of heart in that the way he delivers that solo.
Yeah, it's one of my
Mhm.
It's
favorite solos of
fantastic.
his. Yeah,
Yeah,
Between
it's
the
great.
Wheels is another solo I love of his. And anyway, let's not get into Alex solos. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother podcast. And my final choice is from another one of my favorite bands, Mogwai. This is a song called "Devil Rides," and um, the vocals are from Rocky Erickson from the band
Yeah.
13th Elevators,
Yeah.
and he passed away in 2019.
Yeah.
But this song was from 2008, and it's basically the lyrics are "The devil rides right next to me," and it's just about trying to keep yourself away from those bad choices and trying to be a decent person. But his vocals have matured so much as he aged.
Yeah.
If you play the vocals from the 80s and then played the vocals from this song, you would not know it was him. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so envious of how the depth in that voice. And it's just like it's not a like grandiose voice. It's not like,
Right.
singing to the angels or something like that. It's just a very down to earth, this man has been through some stuff voice. You know what I mean?
Yes. That was
And
he was a tortured soul.
yes,
Didn't he have
yes.
schizophrenia?
Yeah. And but
Yeah.
anyway, and the lyrics are it's another sparse little song, and it's not
Yeah.
a ton of lyrics, but it's just like an incredible song. And it's
Yeah.
very low key, just a little drums, a little acoustic, a little background keyboard, or a little not a xylophone, but a marimba or something. I don't know, but it's just an amazing, amazing song. And it was just on a little EP they released. I didn't know about it until I got a collection, not a best of, but just a random collection Mogwai threw together of like a bunch of stuff they put out, because they put out a ton of EPs, and I don't have
Right.
all the EPs, but I literally that song was just a mouth dropper. Like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's that good, and immediately had a connection
Wow.
in my soul with that song.
Hmm.
It's just, I can't say enough about it. I could drone on for an hour, but I'm not going to. But anyway, that's my top songs from the last 20 years.
All righty.
I like it. Very good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these things from all of us. I don't know. Mine are probably more that you guys are familiar with. That I would say just about every single thing you talked about, I've never heard. And that's exciting for me because clearly it means a lot to you. It's exciting for me to delve into that and see, well, what can I get out of that? May end up
Yeah.
being one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's great.
Another week's playlist in the
Yeah.
making, so I can catch up.
That I can't play for anybody else at work. Just me.
Yeah.
So I love Courtney Barnett,
Yes.
and the first thing I heard from her was "Pedestrian at Best," which is not quite like the rest of her songs, but I had to go to a class. I had to go to training in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So I drove up there, and the rental car I had Sirius XM, and I guess her album was released at that time, and they played that song, and I was like, what is this? This is amazing. And they played it over and over again, to and from. So I really fell in love with Courtney Barnett at that time. And I love the way she can tell a story. And there's so much going on. There's so many pictures popping into your head. Everything she says, it's so colorful and description. It's just there's a crazy circus of things going on in the lyrics, and it's so much fun. And I wish I could write like that. And she does that with all of her songs. It's a complete story with all kinds of characters and happenings, and it's just a lot of fun. She's a brilliant songwriter, and "Pedestrians at Best" is a fun song that drew me in. Yeah, that's the
Avant
first one.
Gardner was the first thing I heard from her.
What's that?
Avant Gardner.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Avant Gardner. Where
Yeah.
it's so
I
hot, she
really-
runs in the garden and
yeah.
has an asthma attack.
Yeah. I really enjoy
Not-
that. I always like that song. But yeah, she's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, very talented, very creative. When I heard this song by Honey Honey,
Oh, wow.
don't know how, it hit at the right time. I was not having a good year, a lot of things going on, and something just clicked when I
Yeah.
heard that song. And I found it. I was reading a blog at the time, and they posted the video for the song, and I clicked on it and listened, and I'm like, this is an amazing song, and really connected. Not that I was going through what she was going through in the lyrics, but something in it just felt like it was speaking to me. And that's when I discovered Honey Honey, and they only had 3 albums, or 4 albums actually, one's an EP. They just
Right.
kept getting better until they broke up. But just an amazing band, another Americana band. But Don't Know How is very heart wrenching. It's about a breakup, and you feel like the person singing is kind of resigned to what's going on, even though it's heartbreaking, and it's very um, relatable song, I think, in a lot of ways.
Right.
So that's my choice. World Leader Pretend is a band out of Louisiana. I wish that they had gotten bigger. That's just like Ray. I wish they had gotten more out of their career. They only have 2 albums, and they have a very specific sound. You know, in movies, sometimes the environment is a character in the movie too. The background is a character.
Yep.
Sometimes the production is a character in the song, and maybe that's kind of the situation with the World Leader Pretend. But it's very dramatic music. It's very the way the lyrics are sung. You read the words by themselves; they may not stand out as well, but the phrasing and the way it's sung, the melody there is very powerful. And World Leader Pretend was just really an amazing band, and I try and turn everybody on to it I can. But
They had kind of a Zydeco sound, did they not? I know they were from
no,
New
no, it's
Orleans.
more.
They did not?
Um, I've heard them accused of ripping off Radiohead. It's not quite there, but I can kind of see it in that vein.
Hmm.
But Bang
I might be
Theory is
think
the name of the album and the name of the song.
I might be thinking of
Really,
someone
I
else.
could have named any song on that album, but
Yeah.
Bang Theory is a really good song. And that, you know, as soon as I heard it, I knew I needed to hear more from this band. It's a really good band.
Right.
And first song, just like Marillion, I'd heard music by this band before, but there's that one track that stands out and really drew me in, and that was
Yeah.
The Widow by Mars Volta.
Mm.
Yeah.
And such a dark, brooding song. Especially for them, most of their stuff is really, you know, bombastic in your face. The Widow is a very subdued, I won't say sparse, but kind of subdued
Say
song.
it. Say
And
it. Say it. Sparse.
it takes you somewhere, you know, and there's a mood there. There's definitely a different vibe, and it's a bit dark, but I like the dark stuff. So um,
Is it heartbreaking?
it's I wouldn't say it's heartbreaking. It's kind of creepy, but
Creepily heartbreaking.
yeah, creepily heartbreaking. The Mars Volta, great band and standout song from them.
I know you're a big fan. You know, I've dipped the toes in the water with Mars Volta. They're very uh, interesting band. I have a lot of respect for them. I just haven't connected with them in the way that you have, but
Yeah,
that doesn't mean that I won't. You know, I don't know their entire catalog, but it's I was just discussing earlier today with someone, you know, how we all are very different, which I think is a good thing.
yeah,
You know, our taste, and we all listening for different things, you know, and I'm probably more simple, you know, maybe more visceral, and you guys are more cerebral about what you might be getting out of something, you know,
mhm.
possibly. But you know, it's all valid, you know. But is that your last five? Your
Yeah.
Is
complete
that
10?
did I have 10? I don't even know how many I have. That's all I have on my list.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't want to completely
Let me s-
interrupt you.
let me see. How many I'm
Yeah.
coming up short all the time.
Well, if that's what you on your list,
That's
well,
9. Let me throw one more out there since I only
okay.
have
All
9.
right.
Just off
Okay.
the top of my head. Horrible name for a band, Human Waste Project. And the song is Dog. Now there was it seemed like that era, I can't tell you what years it was, but around when No Doubt was really popular, and
Yeah.
I'd heard the Vines and other bands like that. Um, and you know, rock and roll felt pretty strong, but it's kind of the swan song, right? Where dance and hip hop took over the radio.
Right.
But Human Waste Project with their song Dog is just a straight up rocker. There's so much uh maybe not raw emotion, but certainly tension in the singer's voice when she's wailing out the lyrics. But it that song, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is the mood. This is the vibe for this summer, or whatever year that was.
Was that your bad year?
But no, it was not my bad year. Um, but
Song of Hope, dog.
yeah, it's not a strong song of hope, but it was just a straight up rocker, and it hit me at the time. And
Yeah.
of course, I don't think Human Waste Project is around anymore, not the band anyway. Um, but yeah, that's a I'll mention that. There's a long list of songs I could mention, but that just comes to mind that some of those songs you just need that jolt of energy and that hit at
Yeah.
the right time.
That smack in
And
the face.
that smack in the face.
There are
Um,
songs that I can definitely relate to that aren't necessarily emotional, but they did affect me in a certain way. Or I'll just briefly mention this, a song that's way out of our time frame, but Remedy by Black Crowes. It's
Mm.
just such a positive, upbeat song that I just enjoyed and I still enjoy. And it's just a positive song, it just feels good, So those kind of songs, come along at a certain time and you might be able to get a few months of positive energy out of that,
Yeah.
several weeks at the very least. So I totally relate to that, but that's the first thing that came to mind. But well, I like it. Like I said, I've got a lot of things to listen to see, if these things affect me in the same way, and that's exciting for me to hear these things from you guys. Um, My list, these next several songs are pretty emotional. These songs are pretty deep for me. There's not a light-hearted song in here. Um, and it wasn't. That's not purposeful. It's just the way this came out. But I'm gonna end with one song that. Um, well, we'll talk about it. The song "Either Way" by Wilco.
Uh-huh.
That was really my first song that I ever heard from Wilco that I can recall. No, that's not true. I saw Wilco play live in 1995 at Ziggy's, which were amazing. But I
Wow.
lost. They opened up for the Jayhawks, which was amazing. Great, great show. I saw Jay Bennett play live, and he was just amazing. And I'm so glad I got to see him live. Um, I lost touch with the band. They went to a different place, and I wasn't hip enough to understand where they were going. And then Nels Klein joined the band in 2005 or 4. And then they did Sky Blue Sky in 2007. And when somebody I worked with turned me on to them again, and I heard Impossible Germany and Either Way, and I just loved Nels Klein's guitar playing, especially on
yeah.
that record.
He's amazing.
But the songwriting on that record is super emotional, and it just means a lot to me. I think it's a very personal record for Jeff Tweedy. There's just some really deep songs, on and on and on. It's just, it's just deep,
That was the tour I saw him on.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw them on the 2011 Whole Love tour, which was fantastic. But yeah, I wish I would have seen the Sky Blue Sky tour. Great, great song, means a lot to me either way. For Annabelle by the Band of Horses, off Infinite Arms. That song is just a very deep song. And it's really written from the singer's point of view to his daughter, I think. Or, just say, hey, I'm screwed up, I've got problems, but we'll get through it, and you're part of me. You might have some of these problems, but we'll figure it out. That's how I always took the song, but it's just a lovely song with a great arrangement. It's just Band of Horses just have some amazingly emotional songs that just mean a lot to me, and definitely discovered them within the last 15 years. And just a great band. And there's several songs that I just listen to quite often. and that's one of them.
Yeah.
The song "Lost?" question mark by Coldplay off of
Mm.
2008. Love this song, and I like the slow acoustic piano version. Don't really prefer the up tempo version. The lyrics to the song, and I'm not a lyric guy, as you may know. The lyrics to this song are pretty
Before.
powerful and mean a lot. And actually, all the lyrics to these songs, unlike most of the stuff that I listen to, the songs to all these have really incredibly powerful lyrics and mean a lot to me. So that's saying something, you know.
Mhm.
Musically, they all are fantastic in my opinion, but lyrically, they really go to the next level. But that song has just got it's just really deep for me. And when I first heard that record, that was I was kind of going to another place in my life, working life, and I was on this trajectory to go to a different place. And that was a hard time, but a special time. And I kind of associate that period of my life with that record, and in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 9 is "Last Request" by Paolo Nutini. He's a British guy that has a couple of great records, maybe more. But his first record that I became familiar with just has a really, really great um, singing and lyrics. And the song "Last Request," if you've not heard it, is really great. You know, it's really about, he knows that the relationship is done and it's not going anywhere, but he just wants to be with that person one more time. And then, and it's just really amazing the way he sings it, and it's just sang with a lot of emotion. And it stayed on playlist for me for all these years. My final pick is I'm going to break our 20-year rule. The song goes back to 1977, and but I had not heard the song. Even when it was re-released in 1990, I did not hear it. It wasn't on my radar. The song only became known to me within the last 15 years, and that is "Here Comes the Flood" by Peter Gabriel.
Oh, you didn't know that song until then? Wow.
I did not know it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I had never listened to his first solo album that had Salisbury Hill on it. I started in 2008 buying iTunes Music, and now I own over $40,000 of iTunes Music, which is insane. I never intended for that to happen, but that's what's happened in the last 15 years. Um, but when I was
Jeez, wow.
building my library, I became available. That's true. I do own $40,000 of music. Um, that song kind of coincided. I don't know that I think I bought it because I enjoyed it, but I didn't really start listening to it till my mom passed away. And I've talked about this previously. I mean, we can all spin things or put meaning to songs that may necessarily mean what it does to you. But that song, there's a line in it, it's like "Say goodbye to flesh and blood," and "Here Comes the Flood" means to me just crying, you know, uncontrollably. And when my mom passed away, it was, and it broke my heart, So that song was listened to a lot during that time, and I associate a lot, like we just said in a previous episode, "The Rose." It's just special to me for that reason. But the
Yeah.
song is amazing on its own. But when I apply that meaning to it, it takes it to another level. So that song is only one that I've become familiar with since 2000 and I don't know, 13, 2012. Um, and so it's something that's played often enough that it stays on a playlist, and it has to be in there. So I had to make that exception for that song. But that's my list.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah. So these songs are all emotional for us for different reasons, or affect us
Yeah.
in different reasons, but I knew that some of these songs were going to be pretty deep,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it has to be. If it affects you on a
Mm.
a deeper level than just some someone saying, I love that song. I like that song. It's one of my favorite songs. That's different.
Yeah.
If it really gets into your DNA, sometimes it feels like it.
Yeah, I mean, all the songs that we all love for different reasons, I mean, stuff that I can enjoy. I don't want to listen to stuff like that all the time.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I don't
can't.
want to
It's
be. I
too.
don't want to be sad
You'd
or
be a
in that
wreck.
state of
You'd be a
mind all
wreck.
Yeah,
It's
you
too.
would be a wreck. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't be
yeah,
happy all the time, but you certainly can't be sad all the time, and you
yeah.
can't. Not every deep thought needs to be a deep thought.
I
I kind
listen
of
to that
think
shit
of
all the time.
I kind of think of the
All
blues. The way some people may listen to the blues. I think a lot of people. I'm just going to try to make sense of what I'm. Hopefully, I will make sense out of this. I think a lot of people listen to the blues, and it's very uplifting to them. It's but the blues is. I think it is supposed to be uplifting to a lot of people, and it's really positive in a lot of ways. But I think the blues initially was supposed to be a very healing music.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
when you're sad, you wanna hear
yeah,
if you try to listen to happy music, you're gonna feel worse.
right,
If you listen to some sad music, you're
right,
you're commiserating with the singer or the song, and other people
right.
have been through this. It's not so bad. I feel like dying, but I'm not
Yeah.
going to, and I can get
Well,
through this.
my whole point is saying that some of this stuff is my blues.
I
It
get
it
it.
it, it achieves the same thing that I think the people that were writing and listening to blues 100 years ago. I
Mhm.
mean, uh, wasn't Robert Johnson? Didn't he record almost 95 years ago in the late
Yeah.
20s?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
remembering that right? So it's almost 100 years ago. Certainly, um, but that's just incredibly powerful for different reasons, and it does heal you in an odd way. And you
Mhm.
don't want to listen to "Jump" by Van Halen or "Running with the Devil" when you're feeling a little bit down. You want to
Yeah.
listen to something that you can connect with. So that. But it's I like you said, Grant. I couldn't listen to that all the time.
Yeah.
You would be a wreck, like you said.
Yeah.
You said it. Perfectly. But it is a very healing music. Sometimes you just have to listen to a song that whatever state of mind you're in. And that's the beauty of music. Music is so powerful and healing to anyone who's just indifferent about music in general. I think they're missing something. It's not just surface stuff. It is incredibly powerful. And some people like us connect with it on such a deep, deep emotional level. I'm not sure everybody does. I don't think everybody does, but it's disconcerting sometimes when I've said before, when people are so indifferent about music, that just blows me away. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't
Yeah.
understand it. Like,
You
wow,
know,
really?
it's such a
Okay.
powerful force. And so hopefully some of the songs that we've mentioned, will inspire people to do some homework like me. And some of the stuff you might have heard, that kind of, it's like, yeah, I really can identify with that. Or, yeah, I know that song. And that's a deep song. So hopefully our list will connect with some people out there. But I think we're going to end it with that. And just as a reminder, please like and subscribe. And we will see you guys next week.
All righty.
See you then.
All right. Be well.
All right.
Live long and
Take
prosper.
care, folks. All right.